A Teacher's Diary is where the theory meets the real world. I'm Anju, your host, and I'm thrilled to have you join me on this journey through the life of an English teacher. Each episode, I'll be sharing my personal experiences from my own journey as an English learner. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let's dive into today's episode. Because in every lesson, there's a story, and in every story, there's a lesson. It was like the first time that I communicated with a foreigner outside the classroom. I was listening, like I paid attention to the song and I could understand. Speaking a language is not about being able to mention some words, it's being able to connect all the words and play with them. Other thing that keeps me connected to learning English is writing. Hi there, welcome to A Teacher's Diary. Today we're diving into something really essential when it comes to learning English, but it's often overlooked. It is the why behind learning English. Let me ask you something. Haven't you felt that sometimes learning English becomes a little bit overwhelming or you feel just frustrated? Well, because I'm pretty sure that I have been there, I felt that, and especially in those early days when I was starting learning English. But finding that one powerful reason, that why, can change everything. In this episode, I will tell you two crucial questions that I asked myself to find my why. And probably those questions can help you too. So stay tuned. Let's go back a bit to where my journey started. Last episode, I told you about it. If you haven't listened to it, I'm going to link it in the description box below. You can take a look after you watch this video. When I first began learning English, I was full of excitement and expectations because it had been my lifelong dream. But then reality set in, and I had to face with the fact that I didn't know anything about English, and I had to keep up with every knowledge that was in front of me because I was making a career out of it. And I really know firsthand how overwhelming and frustrating this journey could be. Connecting the dots back, I can understand why I got into, the English I have today. I'm going to show you the questions that I asked now. I asked myself, like analyzing, going back into what I lived in the process of learning English. The first question is, what would I be able to do if I mastered the English language? Now I can answer about my process back in the day, but I can tell you the why is not only one and it's not static. It changes over time according to the goals that you have achieved and also the goals you want to achieve next. For me, at the beginning, my why was so strong because if you could see my last episode, learning English was the key for my career and it was decisive for me. If you analyze this question, you are really looking for what is the opportunity you have by learning English, or like what is the need, like the real need for it. For me, if I go back to the moment when I started learning English, this answer is really strong and powerful because it really connects to whom I decided to be in the future, which is an English teacher. I was learning English I was learning how to teach English through English. It was impossible to quit. At that moment, I only had the option to keep going. The answer to that question for me would be I would be able to teach English. Okay, so for you, it could mean moving to another country or just to be able to communicate with other people. Probably, I don't know, you have a spouse or a couple or someone who is not, who doesn't speak your language and you want to communicate with the people around them, or around her. Could be like their family or their friends, like the social context. Those could be some of the things that you would be able to do if you learn English. The second question I asked myself is, what excites me about English? English, as any other language, is used for communication. So for me, when I started learning English, it was crucial to communicate my ideas in the academic context because, well, I was studying, I needed to participate. At that moment, it was that inside the academic context, but outside, it was all about understanding, just understanding. It was like my motivation or what moved me. I remember a time when I went to a mall. I was with a friend and we were shopping. You know that stores usually use music in English to give a little bit of an atmosphere into the shop. And when we went in, I was listening, like I paid attention to the song and I could understand. I had never listened to that song before. That aha moment, it was so exciting for me. It's like really, it gave me goosebumps. I was like, geez, I understand what I'm listening to. What excites me about English is just the ability to be able to understand and communicate, to be able to express my ideas, to have a voice and opinion to show or to give to anybody. I also remember a time when I was learning and I was in my job because I had a part-time job to cover for my expenses when I was a student. I had a customer who was a foreigner. He spoke to my coworkers and my coworkers just remembered like, hey, Angie, they called me Angie. Angie is learning English, so maybe she can communicate with him. They called me and it was like the first time that I communicated with a foreigner outside the classroom. It was everything. It changed my life completely. I could answer to his questions. I could understand. I could talk to him, and he just was a satisfied client. And I was like, geez, I can do this. When you can do things like that, that connect to your inner purpose, you just feel powerful, you feel confident, and you build a little bit of a self-esteem in the language because it just gives you the motivation that you need and the reassurance that you're doing things well. Now, I stated that your reason or your why behind learning English changes over time and evolves according to your achievements and the goals you have in life. After I graduated, my why has changed somehow, but in essence, it is still the same. At the beginning, I just wanted to be able to communicate anything in English. Then I just changed into helping others achieve the same that I could do, which was communicating in English. But then my why just moved into helping others who wanted to be teachers just like me to teach the language. Other thing that keeps me connected to learning English is writing, because I love writing. I think writing brings to life everything that we had in our minds. For me, it's a way to keep learning because, you know, every time you want to put words into paper, sometimes you don't know how to do it, so you need to investigate, learn new things, study, and come up with the ideas. It has been changing, and throughout that process, I have realized that those are the things that have kept me in contact and committed to learning English as a lifelong learner. And right now, I understand that in essence, my why has been always the same, which is to give myself a voice or some message to say, something to tell, and to be able to communicate it in this language. I want to highlight why it is important to find your why. So basically, it comes to one special strong reason, which is to help you stay committed. I know that it can be a real struggle to stay committed to learning a language because I have been there and because now I can see it in my students. Some of them find it really hard to keep doing what they are doing because learning a language can be frustrating. I'm going to tell you 3 things that you can do to beat all those things that stop you from staying committed to learning English. So the first thing is arrange a daily task that is related to learning English. Every day, this task can be different. Some people challenge themselves to learning, for example, 3 new words every day. What 3 new words have you learned today in English? Words, expressions, idioms. Well, there are plenty of things you can learn. And now the difference could be how you're going to learn it. Probably your task today is to learn it through a movie. Tomorrow it would be to learn those 3 words through a song. The next day it could be through a lecture, or it could be by watching an interview. All of those things can help you to stay focused day by day because the goal is pretty simple and easy. 3 words every day. You don't need to learn how to give a speech. You don't need to learn in one day how to speak, about one of the subjects at your university if you're studying, or to give a conference in one day. It's not like that. It's little by little achieving some small goals every day that can keep you connected to English. Before we continue, I want to acknowledge the people who has already subscribed to this channel. By subscribing, you just help the channel growth and the message to reach more people who are learning English and who really need to hear these words to keep up with their progress. So if you have found this information helpful so far, just click on that subscribe button and welcome to this channel. The second thing is to find your support partner. Similarly to going to a gym where sometimes you need a partner or a friend to go with to keep you motivated, to keep you going, to keep you showing up to the gym every day. You also need a partner, a support partner in learning a language. It could be someone you met by learning the language, or it could be someone you already know that speaks the language. If you feel a little bit probably afraid or ashamed, you just need to find the person you have confidence with. Because I learned English, but it wasn't completely just by myself. I also had my support partner. I just confided in this person, hey, what about if we speak English all the time when we are together? We met in the same context, academic context, so practically we were speaking in English every time we saw each other. It helps a lot because you build confidence after some number of conversations you have together. You feel like, I can do this. So if I can do it with this person, I can do it with any other one. The third thing you can do is to find a person you look up to. It's no secret that we all have a person we admire. In the context of exercising, you have this fitness coach or this bodybuilder that you want to imitate. Say one day, someday, I want to be just like this person, with that physical strength and everything. You can do the same with English. You can find that person you admire. You just say, I want to be just like them, I want to speak just like them, and I want to express myself and be able to do what they are doing. In my case, I'm a real movie lover. The person that I look up to, I would say the people that I look up to are actors or actresses that speak English, obviously, as a first language, and I listen to their interviews and things like that, and I get inspiration from there. Not like I want to sound native because I'm not a native English speaker, and I don't have any issue with that. But to be able to communicate the way they communicate, the way they use the language, because speaking a language is not about being able to mention some words, it's being able to connect all the words and play with them. There you have it. Those are the two crucial questions that you could ask yourself to find your why. Once you found it, believe me, your learning is going to be meaningful, it's going to be connected to a real purpose, and you will not quit no matter what. If you do take the challenge to ask yourself those questions and answer to them honestly and really deeply thinking about these answers, well, let me know in the comments if you have found your why. I'd love to hear your reasons to study English and, well, to cheer you on. Thanks for listening to A Teacher's Diary. Remember, your why is the key to unlock your potential. See you next time.